this lesson, we'll practice some multiplying and dividing monomials. So by the end of the lesson, you should be able to multiply them, simplify expressions with powers, simplify expressions involving the quotient, and simplify expressions with negative integers. So this first one says negative 15 x to the first y to the fourth times negative 1/3 x y to the third. So the first thing we're going to do is multiply those two. So negative 15 times negative 1/3 is positive 5. And then we'll do the x's. When you multiply, you add, so that's x squared. And then we'll take care of the y, so y to the fourth times y to the third. When you multiply, you add, so that's y to the seventh. And now we'll multiply that times our negative 1/6 mn squared. So we'll multiply these two, and that's negative 54. We'll multiply the m's, that would be m to the fifth, and we'll multiply the n's, n to the fourth. When you multiply, you add the exponents. All right, since these are used as coefficients, we're going to simplify those first. So just like if I had a fraction 15 over 5, I would change that to 3 over 1. So I'm going to do the same thing. So 3 goes on the top. I have x to the 6 minus 1, so that means x to the fifth. And then I have y to the negative 9 minus negative 11. So that means negative 9 plus 11, which is 2. So I didn't need this bottom part. All right, this one, again, we're going to take care of this first, just like I would if it was a fraction, and that would be negative 8. Then I have 6 minus 1, that's x to the fifth. 7 minus 5, that's y to the second, and z to the 5 minus 6, which is z to the negative 1, which I have to then do the reciprocal of. And this one, because this is a negative exponent, I have to flip the whole thing because I have to do the reciprocal. So that means 3x z to the 6 goes on top, exactly like it was. 2x z to the fifth goes on the bottom, and it's still squared. It's just we got rid of the negative by flipping the whole thing. Now I take things to the, I distribute this exponent. So 2, so I have negative 3 squared, which is 9. X to the power of 2, when it's a power of, you multiply. Z to the 12th. Now we do the same thing to the bottom. 2 squared is 4. X to the 1 times 2 is x squared. Z to the 10th. Now we need to simplify. The 9/4 doesn't change because I can't simplify that. X squared minus 2 would be x to the 0, so we don't need to write that. And z to the 12th minus 10 would be z squared. There's my answer. In this, we always work from the inside out, so obviously we're going to take care of this first. So that becomes 2. When a power raised to the power, you multiply, so 6 times x z to the fifth, all squared. Now I'm going to do 2 to the 6th raised to the power of 2 when it's the power of, because in this case 2 is used as a base, not an exponent, or not a coefficient. So 6 times 2 is 12, x squared z to the 10th. And then we'll actually change that 2 to the 12th to 4,096 x squared z to the 10th. So let's try a couple of these. Three squared times 3 to the 6th. When you multiply, you add, so that would be 3 to the 8th, which is 6,561. 6 to the 4th divided by 6 squared. When you divide, you subtract. That would be 6 squared. 5 to the 3rd times 5 to the 1st. When you multiply, you add. 5 to the 4th. 2 to the 12th divided by 2 to the 9th. When you divide, you subtract. 2 to the 3rd. 8 to the 3rd times 8 to the 5th. When you multiply, you add. 8 to the 8th. 4 to the 4th squared times 4 to the 4th. When you multiply, you add. 4 to the 6th. Q to the 8th divided by Q to the 8th. 8 divided by 8 is 1. So that would be, 8 subtracting 8, sorry. 8 minus 8 is 0. 7 to the 3rd divided by 7 squared. When you divide, you subtract, and that would be 7. So when you multiply, you add the exponents. When you divide, you subtract the exponents.